Okay, welcome back to Panzer Grenadier Casino. This is Red Bull Attacks Scenario 3. We're at the 1 p.m. turn. So, where are we in the battle? Well, we're back here. The U.S. has crossed the Rapido right here and has a slight bridgehead, but we've got German units positioned right here, dug in, a good lieutenant and a grenadier and a heavy machine gun that's disrupted, and then another lieutenant over here, and reduced platoon over there as well. For these guys, there's the heavy machine gun and a disrupted unit over here. More units are going to start to flood in here, but we're going to see how this goes, and I'm going to play a little bit live here for you and continue if it seems to be pretty active here. And I've also added, you can see over here in the corner, right here, is the charts. So I'm going to make this a little bit more interactive for you so you can see the action, and I'll put the dice out here when I roll them, and we'll go from there. So I've already started out the 1 p.m. turn. I've rolled the initiative. The Americans have it. They have one activation before the Germans can start activating. So I think what we want to do, I've been pondering this for a little bit, is take our lieutenant right here and the heavy machine gun. They're actually going to fire, but the unit that's disrupted below is going to try to recover. They're not going to fire. So who are they firing at? Well, that becomes the question, here or here. I think we're going to shoot here, just because that gives us a chance to potentially do some more damage to that heavy machine gun and actually potentially knock out the Grenadier unit over here. It's going to be tough because that lieutenant has a morale bonus, and we'll see what happens with that. These guys over here, equally as dangerous, but we're going to have to let them go because it's going to be harder to tackle them. So let's try to go for the easy stuff and then go from there. So what do we want to do first? Do we want to do shooting first, or do we want to do the morale check? I think we're going to do the morale check. So the morale check is going to be, it's a full strength platoon, so that means he's going to be an 8. He needs a 7 or less to recover. Oh, they're rolling 11. I should have taken the shot first. That would have gotten an M2. Oh well. So that is done. Now we'll take the shot. Now that's going to be here against here. So that is going to be 10 plus 1 is 11. That makes it nicely line up on this column right here, the 11 column. But we're going to have some shifts. A shift for nighttime and a shift for being dug in for one of the units. That Grenadier is not dug in, so he will not get that shift. But then we'll get 2 shifts up for being adjacent to the units. So that'll actually cancel it out for the heavy machine gun, so they'll stay on the 11. The Grenadier will actually be shot on the 16 column with the same dice roll. So let's see, we've got 2 columns that we're going to roll for the attack. Oh, good roll, decent roll. It is a 4, which gets us an M1 and an M2. Okay, so first off, leaders have to do their morale check first. So the leader is, he's a 9. He's going to have an M1. Morale check with a +1, so he's a 9. He rolls a 6, +1 is 7, so he is okay. He's going to support the unit underneath him, that heavy machine gun. He's an 8, and he'll add 1 to make 9, but it's going to be +1 on the dice. He rolls a 4, that's 5, so the heavy machine gun's okay. Now for the Grenadier, this gets a little bit more interesting. Grenadier is going to be 7 because it's reduced. It's going to be +1 for the leader, makes it 8 with a +2 on the dice. And they roll a 5. Oh, they got all good rolls. So that basically they all pass over there. So all that shooting, but nothing really comes of it. And that's it for the American first shot. So now the Germans, thinking about this here, I think what the Germans want to do is they're going to use their, no, they're not. They're going to have the, I think that same hex here is going to activate the lieutenant and the heavy machine gun here. They're going to activate, and they're just going to recover, but he's actually going to shoot a flare first. Let's see if he gets the flare shot in here. Oops, that's in the bucket here. Oh, they fail on the flare. So there's no flare in there, but now they can recover. They rolled a 1, by the way. 1 means there's flare fails. So now the recovery here, that's going to be, they're an 8. He's going to add 1 to 9. They're going to need an 8 or less. They roll a 7, so they recover. So the heavy machine gun's back in good order. That's not going to be good for the Americans. All right. Right there. Okay. All right. So they are all activated. The other guy there is not activated. Now back to the American side. Now the Americans, I think. Yeah, I've got 2 choices here. I've got 2 choices. I think they're going to use some of their artillery on that same hex, spotted by that leader over there. So it's a 24. -1 for night. 24 actually winds up on this column right here. It's at night, so they'll shift down 1, and there's nothing else. They'll be on the 16 column. We'll have to do friendly fire. Rolls a 7. That is a miss. And then friendly fire. Rolls a 6. That's going to be no friendly fire. So that's all for that artillery. Moves on to the German second activation. All right, Germans. What do we want the Germans to do? Like to get in there with units, but not before they beat them up a little bit more. So what we're going to do is take the German artillery, and they're going to come in there. So that's going to be on the 20 column right here. Or do I want to have them shoot? Yeah, actually, I'm going to take that back. No dice have been rolled, so we're actually going to have these guys. He's going to try to fire a flare. Let's see if he makes it. Needs a 1, or not. Doesn't need a 1, I should say. Rolls a 3, so the flare gets placed. So now that's a flare over here. So now they're spotted like it's daytime, and they're also going to shoot over here. So that is 7. 6 plus 1 is 7. So they're going to be on the 7 column right here. They're adjacent to him, so we're going to go up 2, and I don't see any negative bonuses there. Yeah. So they're going to go up to the 16 column. Rolls a 9. That is an M. So it's morale check on all of these guys. Leader is first. He's a 9. Rolls a 5, so he's good. Next one is the heavy machine gun. They're an 8. Roll a 7, so they are all good. And then critical one here is the guy who's still disrupted. He is also an 8. Rolls a 10. 10. That's not good because they are going to be demoralized. Okay. That's going to make it tough. Tough on them. Where's that? So they've already moved. All right. So they've fired. And they've also put the... Where's the flare? Lost the flare. There's the flare. Put a flare in there so that everybody can see them now. So there's going to be more firing over there. He's all done. So let's see. He's done. He's done. He's done. Let's move those off. All right. Back to the Americans for their third activation. I think it's important to get some more units up here. Yeah, I think the sergeant over here is going to activate this unit here and the other infantry unit here to bring them forward. They need some support over across the river. So they'll move, excuse me, up into this hex. And that will do it for that. So that's their third. There's no opportunity fire because it can't be seen. So we go to third and final activation for the Germans. So the Germans are going to do what? That's a good question. I think they're going to use their artillery now. Right on there. Going to be on the 20 column, which is this right here. I think they're going to stay there. They're not in any, no, they're not in the Gothic line hex. So it's on the 20. That's this column. So let's see what they get. You roll a 4, which is an M1. Ooh, that could be dangerous here on that demoralized guy. So the leader, he is a 9 with +1. Rolls a 6, +1, 7. He's okay. And then we've got the heavy machine gun with an 8. +1. He rolls a 9, makes it a 10. He is disrupted. That's not good. And then the demoralized, he is an 8, but he's demoralized 7 with a +1. Oh no, he rolls an 11. Ugh, he's demoralized again. That's a step loss. And that really hurts because that is going to drop their initiative with that loss down 1. And their hex is looking pretty bad now. Might have 1 saving grace because we do have friendly fire on both of these hexes over here. So let's do this one first. Rolls an 11. There's nothing. Friendly fire on that hex. Rolls, ooh, a 5. So this hex is going to be hit with friendly fire. So they are on the 20. It's nighttime and friendly fire, so they're done on the 8 column. Roll a 7, so there's no effect. So they're okay. So they've done some damage, and that's the 3rd activation. So we're going to roll for the fog of war. 8, 10, 11. No fog of war. So it's on the Americans again. This is tough. Americans are going to try to rally these guys over here. He's a 9, but he's demoralized 8. I think it's 7 or less. No, rolls an 11, so he does have to retreat back here. And this unit, he is a 6, demoralized 5. He needs a 4. He does not get it, so this disappears, and he goes back into here with him. It's not going well for the Americans. This is just not looking good on the attack. All right, we've still got that leader over there. All right, fog of war for the Americans. 13-14, not quite. All right, back to the Germans. What do the Germans want to do? Germans want to pour on the fire. So this guy can shoot down into there. He's going to be direct fire of 8. That's it. On the 8 column, which is this right here. Oh, geez. This is not good. 12. That's an M2. They're just going to get pounded here. I have a feeling we're in trouble. So he's 9 +2. Rolls a 3, so he's okay. But the unit underneath him, he is an 8 +2. Rolls a 4, makes it 6. So the heavy machine guns are just still disrupted. Now the demoralized, he is a 6. 5 with a +2. Rolls a 5 +2 is 7. He's a 5, so he's okay. He doesn't demoralize again. All right, so that fire had little to no effect. And that's the Germans' fog of war. Oh, there we go. Roll an 18. So that ends the turn. Okay. These nighttime turns tend to go fairly quickly because of the low fog of war. So let's clean this all up. Was not a good turn for the Americans, and the Germans really solidifying their hold on there. Let's see, I take that off as well. So, yeah. Okay, we got to figure out what we're going to do with this one. So now we're up to the 115 turn. All right, when we get started with this, keep you on the camera here. It's still pretty interesting across the river. So initiative here first. The Americans have a 3-1 advantage. So let's see what the initiatives come out to be. Americans get 3 plus 3 is 6. Germans get 6 plus 1 is 7. So the Germans get the first move. Oh, this can be bad for the Americans because I think one of these lieutenants, 9, 10, 12 plus 7 is 19. Yeah, it could be a pretty devastating shot. I think what we'll do is these guys, this lieutenant is not, but the one who's stacked here is going to fire first off a flare. And flare makes it. So now all of these are going to come together. So it's going to be 9. He makes it 10, 12, and 6 is 18 right here. So it ends up on the 18 column. Okay. Right. Well, so actually this guy's not going to fire. He's not going to do anything. It'll just be this unit and these units right here. So it's going to be on the 16 column, and they're going to shift up 2 for being adjacent, which puts them on the 30 column. This is going to be very devastating. There we go. 6, that's kind of a middle roll. It's an M1. So the leader is a 9 plus 1. Rolls a 3. He's okay. Heavy machine gun. He is a 8. Rolls a 6 plus 1 is 7. He's okay. And the last guy at the bottom, he is a 6-5. The plus 1. He rolls 11, 12. He's gone. He's gone. He second demoralizes, and he is destroyed. That's another step loss, but doesn't do anything for their initiative. All right, that might, well, who knows if that's good or not. But anyways, here we have it, Germans' first turn. All right, Americans' first turn. I think we're going to do something. I don't know what. Got our artillery, but I don't know. I think I got to try to rally him. Here, we'll do that first. So he's an 8. He's a 7 or less. Rolls an 8. Doesn't get it. Oh, he fails. These guys are just not motivated for the attack. I don't blame him. It's a very tough attack. German turns next. What do they want to do? I think they'll fire this gun over here, which is, again, that's our 8 shot with no modifiers. So they roll a 5 on the 8. That's a morale check. Leader's a 9. Rolls a 6. The unit is an 8. Rolls a 7. So they're all good. All right. Next turn, next activation, Americans. All right. Artillery's got to rain down here, I think, on them. So that's on the 24, but it's nighttime for them. So it's down to the 16 column. Here we go. 8. Ugh, miss. Complete miss. We got to do a friendly fire roll. Roll a 4. It's friendly fire. So that's going to be night and... or actually just down 1 for that. So on the 16 to 20. Oh, no. They roll a 2. Oh. Oh, boy. That is going to knock out half of the heavy machine gun squad. We've got to do a leader check. 2 or 3, the leader's killed. Rolls a 9, so the leader's still there. But now we got to do morale checks. He's a 9. He fails. He's disrupted. I don't blame him for being fired on. And then the reduced unit is now 6 with a +2. Rolls a 3, 4, 5. So he doesn't get anything. But that was a horrible, horrible set of dice rolls for them. And it's back over to the Germans' turn. The Germans now feeling kind of sorry for the Americans fighting it out over here. They'll take a shot with these guys. This 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be able to see him down here. It's least restrictive with this game. So it's going to be 8. Straight up again. Here we go. Roll a 6 on the 8 is a miss. All right, that's all for them. Americans' last turn for Fog of War. Oh boy, oh boy. I could either cross them or... oh, artillery. We'll take the second round of artillery. Hopefully this does better than the first. And this is going to be, once again, on the 16 column. Rolls a 10. That's something. That's an M1 on the German units here. So lieutenant is a 9 with a +1 on the dice roll. 5 + 1 is 6. He's okay. Lieutenant helps him. That's an 8. +1 is 9. +1 on the dice roll. 7 goes to 8. He's okay. The other guy over here, he is a 7. Goes to 8 with a +1. Oh, he rolls a 12. Well, we got something out of that. He demoralizes. So that was pretty good. But now we've got to do our friendly fire again. Let's see what happens. No friendly fire. Rolls a 7. All right, now we got to do our Fog of War. Rolls a 12. No Fog of War. All right, back to the Germans. Let's see, what do we have for shots here? Now the AT gun could take a shot. That'd be 6. Not great. Not a great shot, but we'll take it. 6 on here. So this AT gun, which is a 6 column, is right here. No modifiers. Just 6. Rolls a 7. That is a miss. And Fog of War. 12. Now, let's see. The Americans are going to try to rally these guys here again. It's going to be the captain. He is 9. Goes down to an 8. He needs a 7 or less. Doesn't get it. And then the unit is going to be 6, 5. Needs a 4 or less. Oh, we got it. So he's actually flipped back over to disrupted. He's demoralized. And there. Okay, fog of war. 10, 12, 13. No. Germans. They can't pass because they've got to rally him at least. Oh, we do have our mortars back here. That can fire on them, but I think we're going to go with trying to get him back in good shape. So he's a 7. Morlai 6. Needs a 5 or less. And he rolls a 5, so he flips back over. He's done. And fog of war. 13, 14 again. Nope. Back to the Americans. Well, they've got to get these guys across. One way or another. They need help. So one of these units... oops, these guys activated. One of the sergeant will activate one of these units to go across. So first off, we got to do our roll to see if they get across. They do. Easily get across. All right, opportunity fire. There really isn't because the other guys are occupied in assault hex. So they get across successfully. Let's put it there. And the sergeant activated. All right. Now back to the Germans. Germans have another unit in there. I think they've got to call in their artillery on this hex. All right, so that's going to be 20. It's not nighttime, but it's 20 column here. Push you up there a little bit. There you go. And roll an 11. That's an M1. Oh, boy. Germans have their number. This may be bad. All right, so the leader, again, he's a 9 with a +1. Well, an 8 + 1 is 9. He's okay. The reduced... Where is he? Oh, there he is right there. Reduced. Here, he's a 6 + 1. 5 + 1 is 6. He's okay. And then our new unit here, he's an 8 with a +1. Rolls 8, 9. So the reinforcements get pounded. And he is... And there's not much we can do about that. Now, we do have friendly fire on both of those hexes for the Germans. So let's see. First one here is a 9, which is okay. Second one is a 5. So we're going to get friendly fire over there. 20 goes down to the 8 column. We roll a 9, and that's a miss. All right, so no friendly fire on the Germans. All right, that's the Germans. The fog of war rolls a 12. So that's okay. So that's all the artillery done. Yeah, I got to move over this other unit. So the Major is going to activate this time. Major and the M4 tank. So this guy's going to move across. Wind up with him. So that's a 3-stack hex, which is worrisome. The M4 is going to move up. He has to do an M test. He's an 8. Rolls a 7, so he's okay. So he'll get into that hex as well. Provide more support. All right, so he's activated. Okay. Now what he says. Oh, I made a mistake here. Because that engineer had activated to move off this first unit. So he's already activated. So he can't be activated again. So this guy's coming back. All right. Major will still activate because I said he did. All right. That's all the Americans. They get another platoon over, but it's not looking good. Fog of war roll is still good, so it's over to the Germans. Germans have their mortars back there, which are going to fire on this unit here. Should be a direct, it's a direct line of sight, so we can see them. So it's going to be on the 8 column, which is this here. There's going to be a +1 shift because he's self-spotting to here. So on the 12 to 15. 10. That is an M. So morale check. So the leader here was a 9, if I recall. There we go. Yep. Rolls a 6. He's okay. The reduced heavy machine gun is a 6. Roll a 3. They're okay. And our full platoon there is an 8. And they roll a 3 as well, and they're okay. So mortars didn't have any effect. We do have friendly fire, though, on him and him. 1, nothing. The 7. Second one, nothing. All right, so that's all of that. All right, well, we still got something over there. It's pretty pitiful, but there's still units across the river. Fog of war is a 13. Americans. The lieutenant back here, he's got mortars. They've got mortars. They're going to fire their mortars. It's also going to activate this guy to move up. So he's going to move 1 to there. And then he's going to fire the mortars at that stack there. So it's going to be 8. Knight, 8 line. Knight pushes him down a column. And there will be friendly fire. They roll a 7. That's a miss. Friendly fire roll. It's a 4. Oh, that's a hit. So that's going to be on the 3-4 column. And that's a miss. So there's no damage to anybody. All right. Fog of war is a 7. Back to the Germans. Running out of things to do. I don't know if we want to commit the Stug. We've got the Stug right over here. Not sure we want to commit that at this point. We'll figure that out as we go. Okay. Just looking at some numbers on the bombardment chart. What else do we have? Much else? Actually, I am going to send the captain. No, lieutenant. Captain isn't great. Lieutenant is going to come over here. Potentially get across. Okay. Fog of war, because there's no opportunity fire. Rolls at 12. Germans' turn. I think the Germans are going to pass. Fog of war. 15, not quite. And I think the Americans, well, I think the Americans are going to pass as well. So everybody's been pretty much moved who can. Yeah, so we'll pass. So that'll end the 115 turn. Moving on to 130 here. Pretty tricky movement here. A pretty tricky action here. Oh, I forgot about, hold on, before we move on. Forgot about this over here. I think the Americans are going to try to recover. Rolls 8. There's no recovery. Now the Germans, at this point, it makes sense for them to just knock out the. Let's move you over a little bit. There you go. So it makes sense just to knock them out, because they're just a nuisance at this point. So I think they are. They're going to attack. I'm going to attack them. They're disrupted, so they're going to be down to 2. So all of these guys are going to go in. So we're going to get 6, 10, 11, 17, 18 on the assault chart, which is this one right here. And here's the 18 column. We're going to get something. We've got a leader going in, better morale. Yes, DD. Any negatives? No. It's nighttime. Let's see here. Nighttime. I don't think night has any effect on. Yeah, there's nothing here for nighttime. So they're going to be on the 30 column. Pretty devastating. They roll a 6, which is a 1 step loss. They lose their 1 step loss that was there. That puts them up to now 10 step losses. This comes off. This can come off. Now we've got a lone leader position here, which, if I remember, I think I've got it on my cheat sheet here. Leader casualties here. If alone, 9 to 12 removed. So there's a lone with German units. He rolls a 5. He's okay. But he has to flee, and he's going to go over here in with this units. Like that over there. And now these guys, the assault is completed. So these guys come out of assault. And now will be available in this coming turn. All right, these guys are not dug in. So now there's more firepower against the Americans here. Looks pretty sad at this point for the Americans here. Trying to think if they need to cut their losses. Let's take a look here once we get all these counters off. Cut their losses and just call it a day or call it a night with everything that's going on here. So they just don't have the morale to get this done. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Germans still hold most of this ground over here. They've recovered. We've got 1 disrupted unit here, but it's just a half platoon. These guys are now going to come online. They can actually jump in here and try to attack them on there, and really do some damage. They do have some reinforcements, namely the tank, another infantry platoon, but once they get up here, if they get flares put up, they can illuminate this hex. So that really makes it devastating, for them to be able to do anything. So I don't think, and we're down to, we've played 2 more turns, so we have played 1, 2, let's see, 4, 8, 10, 12 turns. We've got 6 left. Yeah, I don't think they can manage a victory here with this. So we'll probably have to call it at that point. I just don't see how the Americans can continue the fighting. and achieve their objectives, because they need to take these buildings over here, but they've already taken 10 step losses. That's the equivalent of 5 platoons to the Germans 4, which is just 2 platoon losses. So I'm thinking they're not going to be able to do much more. Six more turns, another hour and a half is not going to make a difference in the attack. So I think we'll call it right there. I just don't see them breaking through and achieving any type of victory over there. And we'll kind of go from there. So anyways, this was Casino. This is Red Bull Attacks the Barracks. Very, very tough scenario with this river crossing. An opposed river crossing is never easy. Night helps a little bit, but they're just in perfect position to stop them over here and have enough firepower to do that. The Americans needed some good rolls. They kind of did in the beginning. Those first couple of turns, they were able to move up and establish some, firing points, firing lines over here to knock units out, but they just couldn't sustain it. Was the problem. And then, of course, when the engineers got knocked out, that took a whole hour for them to come back to be somewhat sustainable to get them across the river. Then when they did, Germans were ready for them. Just mowed them down completely, knocking out 1 platoon and half of the heavy weapons platoon, demoralizing the rest of the men. Each time the men came across, they're demoralized and really just couldn't really muster anything to get across here with this. So interesting scenario, historical, yes. From a game perspective, as a solo play, it doesn't matter to me. I'm playing both sides, but as a 2-person game, maybe a little bit dry. If you have 2 decent players playing at the same time, with this. But hopefully you appreciated the play and playthrough for this. We'll play some more with this. This is going to be part of my Mediterranean Italian campaign series. We'll do some more Casino over here, as well as some others, GMT's Italy and Salerno, and North Africa ones will be part of that. Of course, Panzer will be part of that too, Panzer North Africa, and whatever else I can stir up from there will be part of that campaign too. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one over the course of time. But for now, this has been Casino, and hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the view of the map. Once again, gorgeous maps here with everything. I showed you that before. You can see some of this here based upon real life terrain and everything like that. So it's been a good game, and we'll be visiting this again. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We'll like comments on there, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.